Hi everyone. I know it is a little bit late, but I wanted to jump on real quick and say thank you so much for joining the group and taking the time to learn a little bit about Seint. After day one, I know that today you guys learned about Seint and the basics of the system, and why cream makeup is just a wonderful product and why it has so many advantages, and why it makes just such a great product to wear on a daily basis, and why it's good for young skin, mature skin, in between skin, just for everybody. Cream just makes this just second skin kind of single layer that doesn't move, it doesn't crease, it doesn't crack, it doesn't settle in fine lines and wrinkles. It's just, it really truly does kind of meld with your skin and creates this second skin kind of Photoshop look, if you will. So basically what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to take what you guys have learned today, which is just the basic foundation of Seint, and I'm going to use that to apply the 4-step process to my face tonight, so you can see in real time what that looks like. Okay, so the basic necessities, the very basic foundation of Seint is a 410 palette, okay? And what that comes with is your basic highlight. So this is your main highlight shade. This is your brightening highlight shade. And then this right here is your contour shade. And so I don't know if I can do this with both hands. I'll just do it like this. So this just pops right out of the tin like that. So this is my contour shade, and then it just magnetizes. Is that a word? Magnetizes. It's just a magnet, and it just sits right in there like that. So it just pops right in there. So again, we've got our main highlight, our brightening highlight, our contour, and then our lip and cheek. And I purposefully picked a really bright, fun summer lip and cheek, okay? So this is the basics, the very basic foundation of your Seint system. And we call this highlight and contour, or HAC. So if you hear HAC, Seint, HAC and Seint, and HAC, Seint, highlight, and contour, this is what makes up your foundation minus the lip and cheek. So these 3 colors right here are your foundation. Each one of them provides coverage. Each one of them goes in a very specific place on your face. So it's kind of a paint by number system. So it is, do not need experience, okay? It is, you can't mess it up, okay? It's just that simple. You cannot mess it up because every single shade here has a very exact place it goes on your face, and then you blend, and then you've got exactly what you need, where it goes, for a very 3-dimensional look, and it brightens what needs to be brightened, brings shadows where it needs to be, and just brings out the best features in your face, okay? So this is the palette that we're going to be working with tonight, all right? So what I'm going to do first is, Seint has a product called Stay Spray, okay? And it's good for 2 reasons, okay? So what you're going to do is take your perfector sponge. Any perfector sponge will work. This is Seint's perfector sponge, but for the purpose tonight, I'm just going to take any perfector sponge, okay? Or I guess beauty blender sponge, whatever you want to call it, okay? So you're just going to get it damp, just very damp, light, squeeze as much water out of it as you can, okay? And then you're going to take that and you're going to spray it with the Stay Spray, okay? And that is what you're going to use as your primer. is the Stay Spray. So the Stay Spray is used for primer as well as for, using it at the end of your makeup to just set everything in place. So I'm just going to take it and dab it all over my face as a primer. The one thing you need to know is you do not want to use any silicone-based primers when you're using Seint makeup. And the reason why is because silicone-based primers just sit on top of your face and they don't allow the makeup, the cream-based makeup, to melt into your skin. And so you're not going to get the best coverage. You're not going to get that second skin effect if you use a primer that's got silicone in it. So just remember that when you prime your skin, you need something that does not have silicone. And that's why our Seint Stay Spray works so well, okay? So just something to keep in mind. Our Seint Stay Spray has two purposes. You can use it as a primer, and then you can also use it as a stay spray after you apply your makeup, okay? And you're gonna find that with a lot of our products. Almost every single thing we have has multiple uses, okay? So I think I've got that pretty much everywhere I need. And so I'm gonna let that dry for just a second, and we're gonna talk about brushes for a second, okay? So there's two methods to putting on your makeup, all right? The first method is obviously with a brush, okay? And all of our brushes are double-ended. You can see that here. Every single one of our brushes is double-ended, okay? And I know these brushes look a little bit different. This is our old packaging. This is our new packaging. Both are absolutely gorgeous. They do the exact same thing. They just look different. That's the only difference. They both work the same. They just have different packaging. This is the new one. This is the old one, okay? But our brushes are both dual-ended, and there's a reason for that, okay? But I'm gonna get into that in a second. So there's two ways to put on your makeup. One is with your fingers, and that's what we call the cheetah hack, okay? And so you don't even need a brush for that. You use your fingers, you place your product where it goes, and then all you need a brush for is basically just to blend everything with, okay? The other way to put on your makeup is obviously to take a brush, dip it into your product, and then apply it where it goes, and then use the other end of the brush, or whichever brush you're using to blend your makeup, okay? So one reason we have different brushes is because everybody likes a different finish, okay? So some people like a very natural finish, some people want a more medium finish, some people like a more full finish or full coverage, okay? So this brush right here is called our buff brush, okay? You'll notice there's a smaller end and a larger end. This brush has extremely densely packed fibers and is going to give you a much more medium to full coverage, okay? So this brush is amazing. I love the buff brush. This is a very good brush for me because I do like a more natural look, but this is a very good brush for me to put my color on. And then I use a brush like this, which is called our 3D brush. And then I take the brush that's got more loosely packed fibers and a much more fluffy brush to it to kind of buff and blend my makeup in. So there's one way you can do it. And my favorite way to do it is the cheetah hack, because it allows me more control for how much product I'm putting on my face versus when I'm using a brush, I feel like I'm always using too much makeup. And it's easier and it's a lot smarter to use less makeup to start with, and you can always add more. But it's a little bit harder to add too much and then try to take off more makeup to get the finish that you're looking for, if that makes sense. So like I said, each brush does something a little bit different. This is called the detail brush, and this brush has a really amazing purpose, okay? So if you'll notice, the end of this brush right here is perfect for contouring, okay? So it goes perfectly across the top of your face, your forehead for your forehead contour. It comes right down and goes perfectly down that cheekbone for contour. And then it goes wonderfully down that jaw for contour. And then you use the sides of it for your nose if you like to nose contour. And then the other side of it is amazing for under eye brightening, or if you're doing any type of color correcting, the tiny side of this brush is amazing for any type of color correcting, okay? So this brush has awesome uses too. You don't really do a whole lot of blending with this brush. You could, I suppose, if you wanted to, but this is more for detail work, okay? So again, brushes have lots of different purposes. The brush that I don't have that I'm going to get is our, I think we call it the B squared brush. It's our blush and bronzer brush. And what it is it's kind of like this one, but it's much more fluffy on both ends. And so it allows for a much more natural finish when you're blending. And that's why we call it the blush and bronzer brush, because it has the really big fluffy end on both sides and allows for a much more natural finish, okay? And then we also have eyeshadow brushes, detail brushes, we have an eyebrow brush, lots of little brushes like this, okay? So it's already been 12 minutes. Let's just get into it, okay? So I'm going to show you guys the cheetah hack tonight. And then tomorrow night, I will go in and show you the brush, how to put it on with the brushes, okay? So we're always going to start with our contour, all right? So this is contour in Ash, okay? I am very fair skinned. You would not know it looking at my face because I have I have bronzer on my face, but I'm still going to use my normal colors just because I want to give you an idea of what my normal colors would look like, okay? So my contour is Ash, all right? So what I'm going to do is take my middle finger and I'm just going to dip it in the product and get it on my finger. So I'm literally just taking my product and I'm just dipping my finger in it. Dip, 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 dip. I'm not sliding. We don't want to slide. We're always dipping. Even with a brush, you're only ever going to dip, okay? So I'm just dipping, and then you're going to see that it's on my finger, okay? So then I'm going to take, and I am just going to put that on my forehead across, and of course it's going to look a little bit lighter because the bronzer that's on my forehead is a little bit darker, but you'll see it. There it goes. Now it's starting to show up. Okay, so I just take my bronzer and go across my forehead, re-dip it in the product, go across my forehead, and that is my forehead contour. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on my cheekbones, not under my cheekbones. So that is under my cheekbone. We're not going under, we're actually going on our cheekbone. So I'm going to take this and just bring it down my cheekbone. Okay, and as a rule of thumb, you never want to go past your pupil. So if you take your finger, come down your pupil, never go past that landmark. I don't even come down that far because I'm giving myself a facelift. So I want mine to be even a little bit higher So that's why mine stays up nice and high on my cheekbone, okay? So there's my contour on that side, and then I'm just gonna put one dot in the middle to kind of connect, okay? And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side on my cheekbone and keep it nice and high and just push that into the skin. And kind of make sure it matches up. I'm ending about the same spot on both sides, which it looks like I am. And I'm gonna put just a little bit more. Because you can blend anything out. If you have too much of anything, you can always blend it out, add more, cover it up. Cream makeup is so easy to work with, you guys. And then again, I'm just gonna put a little bit down to connect it, okay? A little bit down to connect it. Now, under my jaw, you are literally going to go right under your jaw, okay? And I have a pretty harsh jawline, so I don't have to be quite so heavy on the contour under my jaw. And again, contour does provide coverage. It is part of your foundation. And believe it or not, contour actually creates cool tones and it creates shadows to define those areas. Contour can also be used to help make things look smaller. So if you contour your nose, it can help make your nose look smaller. You can actually contour your forehead. So you take the arch of your eyebrow, come up like this, bring your contour down more, a little bit down to the sides and leave the middle open, and you can give your forehead the appearance of being smaller if you wanted to. Okay, and just for snots and grins, I'm going to show you if I were to contour my nose, what I would do is take my pinky and dip it in my contour, and then I'm going to take one side and actually leave it on top of my bone. And you kind of want to connect it almost to your eyebrow. And then I'm going to do this very same thing on the other side. And you can feel that bone. And then what you're gonna do is, I need just a little bit more right here. Right here. And then I'm gonna go with like a little circle right here under my nose. I might need a little more to make the end of my nose look smaller. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna go in with our main shade, okay? And again, just with my finger. So you can tell, use my main shade a lot. So I'm just gonna start dipping my finger in there and put my main shade everywhere that my brightening shade is not going to go. And I'm just gonna start on my chin, on my jaw, and just start pushing that into the skin. And now I'm going to put a highlighter right here, so I'm going to leave that space empty. And then I'm going to come over to the other side. I'm going to leave under, just right under my eye with no color, because that's also an area that I'm going to brighten. I'm going to brighten right in between my eyebrows. So I'm going to bring it across my forehead. And I think that's about good. Okay, so now we're gonna take our brightening shade, okay? And here's a little trick I like to do. I like to put one swipe of brightening shade right underneath my contour, and then I put my brightening on my chin, down the middle of my nose, in between my eyebrows, and under my eyes. And I'll show you how I do that all. So I use my pinky for my nose. So I'm going to get just a little bit of my brightening shade on my pinky. And I'm just going to take it right down the middle of my contour. Okay? And I don't want to go too far down, because remember we contoured the bottom. So that's as far down as I'm going to go. And then I'm going to put some in the middle, because I want to brighten that area up. I'm going to put some on my chin. And then this is where I like to put that line right under my contour. And then under eye. So I'm going to take my first finger, get a pretty good amount on my first finger, and I'm going to place it right in the corner. I'm going to stamp it right in the corner of my under eye and kind of bring it around. And then I'm going to stamp it on the other end and kind of swipe it up, okay? And then we're going to do that on the other side. So stamp it in the middle, and then one more. So we've kind of got two like triangles, and then we're going to stamp it again on this side and bring it up. Kind of like a comet tail, okay? Okay, now we are ready to start blending. Okay, So I, again, am going to use this fluffier brush because I like a more natural finish, okay? So when I blend, I am going to do kind of buffing motions. I'm not going to push it in because I don't want a very full, medium to full coverage. Stippling your product in would give you more of that medium to full coverage. Buffing is going to give you more of that natural or lighter coverage, okay? So we're just going to start. And don't grasp your brush like you're going to lose it if you don't hold on to it. Hold your brush very lightly and just make very light strokes, okay? So just blending everything in on the bottom half. And then what we're going to do, because don't forget we have that contour under our jaw. So what we're going to do is we are going to push that contour in with our brush. So this is that stippling motion. So push it in. And then you're going to drag it out. And that's what's going to create that shadow. Okay, so stippling. And then dragging it out. Okay. Now, because there's a lot going on right here, we're going to do our forehead, okay? So we're just going to take our contour and we're going to basically do the same thing we did with our jaw. We're going to stipple it and push it up almost into our hairline, okay? That's why I almost always wear a bandana. Keeps my hair out of the way. So stipple it and push it up. And then we'll get rid of that crazy line in just a second. And then I do go back through and then just gently buff. And then I'm going to take the color underneath it and gently buff to kind of get rid of that harsh line. Okay, you see that? So we no longer have a harsh line from where our contour was to where our main shade was. Now, as far as our brightening shade, I want it to stay kind of bright. So I'm not really going to buff it. I'm just kind of going to fan it out a little bit. Because I want it to stay keep it kind of bright. See that? So I just kind of fanned it out a little bit. So it still has a little bit of brightness, okay? Now I'm going to take the other side of my 3D brush, and for my nose contour, I'm just going to kind of push that in. Same thing on the other side. Just kind of push that in. I'm just kind of going to go back and forth on my nose. And then I'm just going to kind of sweep that down. You just kind of find your happy spot for your nose. And I think I'm gonna put just a little more brightening down the middle. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more on my pinky and just go right down the middle. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, now we're gonna do our contour on our cheeks and then our eyes very last. I always do my eyes last. So for your cheek, you're going to stipple your contour up, because again, we are wanting to give ourselves a facelift. And then I am just going to very lightly buff that. And remember, you're always gonna have mascara. You're always gonna have blush on. So don't worry if your contour seems a little harsh. You can always put a little more of your main highlight on. Or I like my contour to really bring out my cheekbones. In the light that you're seeing me in, it looks much more harsh than when I'm looking at the light that is, the natural light in my room. So just keep that in mind, okay? And then let's do the other side. And then you have to remember too that I did a reel on Instagram about how to give yourself a natural contour with self-tanner. And despite my best efforts, it is not wanting to wash off. So my contour looks a little more pronounced, if you will, because of that. So it is what it is. I need to go back and in my reel say, do not leave on for 2 hours. Do not leave on for 1 hour. only leave on for a half an hour. Okay, and then I'm going to take that and gently buff it. Okay. And and it really doesn't, you guys. When I look into my mirror, it is not nearly as harsh as it looks here. It really isn't. But just to make everybody feel better, there. Now it doesn't look so harsh on camera. And that's what I'm saying, you guys. Look at that. I mean, look how easy it is to add or, you know, if you need to change something or, I mean, whatever. You have the power. Like, the cream is so easy to work with, to add, take away. I mean, it's so, I just love it. I just love it. Okay, there. There you go. Okay, for eyes. There's a couple of techniques you can use. You can use the good old beauty blender, okay? The only problem I have with the beauty blender is that I don't like that sometimes it seems to take away some of my brightening. So what I do first is I take the small end of my detail brush and I just kind of fan that in. Where I want it, and then I'll go in with my sponge and blend it. This is definitely coming up though, because this is what is going to give you that lift, that eye lift that I was telling you about. So I'm bringing it all the way up. And you guys, I'm using the tiniest amount of product, literally. Okay, then I'm going to take this and just gently blend it into, I'm really just blending the bottom so that it kind of blends into the rest of my makeup, okay? But I don't want to get rid of my tail because that's what's giving me my lift. You see that? Okay, I don't want to get rid of my lift. And I want my color to come down the side of my nose. You see that? So let's do it on the other side. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring a little bit of that color down the side of my nose. okay? Then I'm going to take and bring the two sides together. Down the side of my nose. I'm going to bring this all the way up. And this is just right in the corner of my eye. Down the side of my nose. Under my eye. And all the way up. Okay? And now I'm going to take my beauty blender or my perfector sponge, and I am just going to marry the two colors. Okay? But I want it down the side of my nose. So we're going to take this and just marry those colors. Okay? What do you think? What do you think about that technique? Do you like the eye lift? I love the eye lift. Some people aren't as into it, and that's okay. You don't have to do it. If that's not your style, then just stop under your eye. But I think it gives you, it just pulls your eyes up. I love it. And that's just 4 colors, okay? We haven't even done our lips or our blush yet, okay? So let's do that. So I am just gonna wipe my lips off. I do want to put a little bit of chapstick on, but that's okay. We have an amazing lip conditioner, but that's in extras and we'll get to that. So this is Dahlia, okay? This is a very, very gorgeous color. Our lip and cheek colors are extremely pigmented. A little bit will go in extremely far away. I mean, like a tiny dot is like all you need, okay? So I'm gonna take Dahlia and put just the tiniest bit on my finger. And Dahlia is a matte. We have matte, gloss, and semi-gloss, okay? You see that tiny bit? And I'm gonna just put it high. So right there. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. High. We'll blend that and see if we need a little bit more. Okay? So let's just give that a tiny little blend, a little buff. See what I mean? She's gorgeous, but she is mighty. And then let's see how it looks on this side. I'm going to put just a little bit more on. Because you can't really see her as much as I want you to. Oh, now you're going to see her, I promise. One, two, 1, 2. Okay, now let's see. There she is. Hello, Dahlia. Isn't she so pretty? Yes, I'm just kind of stippling it around. I'm really not blending, just kind of pushing it around where I want it. Okay, there we go. Oh, so pretty. It's so pretty. Oh, I wish I could use illuminator. I wish we were there, but we're not there yet. We're just using our 4 colors. It's so pretty. I just can't. I can't. I want to so bad. You know that she doubles as an eyeshadow too. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you can take a little bit of her with your finger. Isn't that pretty, you guys? Isn't that pretty? Oh, just wait until we get to the bronzers and the illuminators, but I'm telling you. Okay, let's put a little on our lips. I wish I could use my lip stuff, but that's okay. Okay. Done. talked. I talked so much. I'm so sorry. I will take this and I will put it in a program and I will cut it in half, okay? I promise. I just talk so much because I have so much to say. And I feel like I want to teach you guys so much stuff. Like, I love teaching. There's so many ways to use this makeup. There's so many things, so many different ways to use it. There's, just application methods and brushes and your fingers. And like I just showed you, I used a lip for my blush, my actual lipstick, and I put it on my eyes too. And look how gorgeous it is. My actual makeup itself, I don't even feel like I'm wearing any makeup. Like, it just feels so good on your skin. I really don't feel like I'm wearing makeup at all. Seriously. Do you guys do you feel like you see anything that jumps out at you? Like, I'm getting as super close as I can. Do you see anything other than my bronzer that's jumping out at you that's like, so that is acne, which I could have color corrected, but we're not there yet, so don't look at my acne. I'm talking about the actual makeup. Are you seeing any creasing, any like crazy, I don't know, caking, or that's just goobers under my eyes. I don't know how I got goobers. Probably from work. I'm still in my scrub. Sorry, guys. But oh, now that's going to drive me crazy. Come on. Sorry. But other than my gross goobers, there's nothing like, there's nothing, you don't see anything, like you don't see anything caking or crusting or, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it literally just looks like second skin. It's so pretty. That's how pretty it is. It's crazy, right? And okay, so I put obviously my Dahlia on with this finger, but let's look, okay, like these couple of fingers, I didn't use these for anything. So I'm touching my forehead that's got contour and brightener on it. Nothing. It doesn't transfer. Nothing. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is why I love it. It is beautiful. And when a couple of days goes by and you start learning a few more things, I'm going to get on here and I promise you, I'm going to do a real-time live, no talking. I'll just play some music in the background. Application of full-fledged makeup where I conceal my problem areas. I'm going to use bronzer, eyeshadow, the whole 9 yards, illuminator, everything, and show you just how fast I can really put this on. And how, tonight I'm using the little starter palette, but this is what my palette really looks like. It's big because I love it. I want to show you this, and I've taken a couple colors out. This is a bunch of my lip and cheeks This has lip and cheeks, illuminators, bronzer, lip conditioner, setting powder, and then some of my contours and highlights, and some I took out to put in my 410 palette. But it's no joke. I'm hooked. Because it's so easy. I mean, I went from tins and buckets and drawers and just makeup everywhere to literally this. Streamline your life, streamline your makeup, make it easier and more gorgeous and better for your skin. There's 7 to 11 ingredients in each one of our little tins, okay? There's like, I think an average of 40 ingredients in most makeup that you probably use. We don't do parabens, sulfates, alcohol, paraben, alcohol, no cruelty, no, oh, there's a list in my head and I'm seeing it and I can't think of it. But our makeup is basically like free of all preservatives. And there's actually ingredients in our makeup that's good for your skin, like lanolin. Lanolin is amazing for your skin. It's very hydrating, and it's in our makeup because it's an amazing product, and we put it in our makeup because it's good for your skin. You have 1 layer of makeup on your face. So I'm not putting on 10 layers and then wondering why my face keeps breaking out. And then I have to put on more layers because my face is breaking out. And then it's just this continuous cycle over and over and over and over again. You don't have that problem with this because you're not putting on 5 to 10 layers of makeup. I mean, there's so many benefits. I just don't even know how to wrap them all into this. It's all wrapped up into this. It saves you time. It saves you money. This is $14, okay? So your initial investment is going to be a little bit. I mean, you're replacing all of your old makeup with a new system. So yes, your initial investment is going to be a little bit. That's the way it works when you take something and replace it with something new. But let's say that my main color, okay? This is my main color, and let's say that by the way, you can melt your tins down too. So when it starts to get to where you can see the pan, the bottom of the pan like this, and I've got still tons more use here, but when I'm like starting to scrape the sides, you melt it down in a hot pan, and then it all melts into the middle, and then you turn off the pan, you set it aside, you let it cool until it's completely cooled off and it's cream again, and now you have you have more product that you can get to because you just melted it down again because it's cream. But when you've absolutely done that for the last time and you really absolutely have no more makeup left, this 110 is $14. So to replace 110 is $14. $14. If I were to have to go replace my, Too Faced tape shape or shape tape concealer or whatever that expensive crap is, it would cost me what, like at least $40 or something? $14. If I were to have to replace my, oh, I can't remember who makes it, that blush that everybody talks about that is like, I think it's called Orgasm or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's like $40 or $50. $14. $14. Do you get where I'm going here? So yes, there is an initial investment, but once you get rolling and you have to start replacing things, it's really freaking affordable. Okay? So, I will edit this video and make it easier for you guys to watch, and then I will post it so you can watch it, and then tomorrow some new stuff, some new content will come out, so make sure you watch that, and then I will do another video. And so far, you guys, there is an individual who has grown this group and has lots of entries into the raffle for the $50 Amazon gift card. And if you don't want her to win and you would like to win, then bring some people in. I'm sure you've got friends or family members that would be like, hey, that would be cool. I could invite some friends too. You invite them, they invite some friends. Win a $50 gift card just for learning a little bit about Seint makeup. Why would you not? I could do a lot with $50 of Amazon gift card. I'm just saying. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something tonight, and that's all I have to say. I will see you guys tomorrow. Mwah! Have a good night. Bye, guys.